who had been extraordinarily reluctant about discussing his past, sensitive about his social inferiority, blurted out a startling confession. "I used to be a slave," said Lincoln. He did not explain what prompted him to make this incredible statement, why he branded himself as belonging to the most oppressed, stigmatized, and untouchable caste. For worse than being accused of being an abolitionist, Illinois, while a free state, had a draconian black code. Why would Lincoln announce that he was a former slave? Lincoln offered this physical description of himself. "If any personal description of me is thought desirable, it may be said I am in height 6 feet 4 inches, nearly lean in flesh, weighing on average 180 pounds, dark complexion." Again, dark complexion. Remember, this guy is letting us know that this is what Lincoln said about himself. All right, he said he is dark complexion with coarse black hair. And Thomas was about 5 feet 10 inches in height, weighed about 200 pounds, had dark brown eyes, dark skin, and black hair. Thomas Lincoln, again, Abraham Lincoln's dad, dark skin, and black hair. Nancy Hanks was a beautiful girl of pleasing manners and keen intellect. She was slender and symmetrical, above the ordinary height and stature, and had the appearance of one inclined to consumption. She was a brunette. All right, so she was a brunette. What does that mean? With dark hair. All right, so I know brunette, people usually use it for hair color, right? I know that, right? And I'm cremeo, but that means hair color. But they're already saying her hair is dark. Why would they say she's a brown hair with dark hair? Why would she say, because brunette is brown hair, right? Why would she say, or dark hair, right? Why would they say it again? She has dark hair with dark hair. We go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, right? And it says brunette. Brunette. What does it say? Of a dark brown color. Brunette hair, for example. Having brunette hair. Also having brunette hair. It doesn't just mean brunette hair. It also means a dark brown color. Brunette. Brown, right? All right. We're in this President Lincoln's cottage blog. He knew him personally. So when he's saying, I see very plainly Abraham Lincoln's dark brown face, he's clearly letting you know what he looks like. He's a person of color. He's a person that you would call a Negro. He's a person would be called today an African American. Yes, Abraham Lincoln, this person is describing him as.
Who was our first black president?
Well, Barack?
Get off the chair. Who's our first black president? Who's our
George
first black
Washington.
president? Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln was a Melungeon.
Wow.
He was part black, part white, and part Cherokee Indian.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? He was a superhuman human being because he was a Melungeon. Melungeon. Melungeon.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. What does it say?
It says Melungeon ancestry of Abraham Lincoln.
What?
Really learning.
Strange things happen out there.
But he might have been a person of color because he was a Melungeon. Right, so what is a Melungeon? We know these are a tribal group of different people who mix, like Europeans with indigenous people, a lot of runaway supposed slaves. We all know these are indentured servants. A lot of these are Europeans, both white and black, and Indians, Aboriginal people who mix with, they all mixed and became the Melungeons. All right, so we're in this book, The Melungeons, The Last Lost Tribe in America, by Elizabeth Caldwell Hirschman. And in page 89 of this book, it says, Abraham Lincoln was of Melungeon descent was first suggested to my knowledge by Brent Kennedy. Kennedy comments that Lincoln's mother, Nancy Hanks, was in all likelihood of Melungeon heritage. Given several facts of her background, indeed, anyone who looks at photographs of Abraham Lincoln is no doubt struck by his distinctively Semitic features. The thick, coarse black hair. But when we look at these images of Abraham Lincoln, I don't see thick, coarse black hair. I see like this, a white person's hair, like very straight or, not thick at all. All right, and it says here, the dark skin. What dark skin?
Emancipation Proclamation background. So we've been taught that Abraham Lincoln, good old Abraham Lincoln, supposedly freed 3.5 million enslaved African Americans, which were actually prisoner of war Aboriginal Americans that were native to here. So I like to always look at the etymology of things. So what's the etymology of emancipate? We look down here. It actually means to transferred as property. So what would these prisoner of wars, aka enslaved slaves, freed from? They weren't freed. They were just transferred as property to what? To the state, the government, And that's why we have a license to drive, permission to drive. We need license for everything. We have no sovereignty. So there was no Emancipation Proclamation. It was just a transfer of property to the state, the government.